welcome to Dice and Pixels, episode 4. We have a really good show for you tonight, we think. We're not sure. We haven't done it yet, so
it probably will be. It'll be the best.
It will be the greatest.
Yeah, it'll be the best episode number 4 we've ever done.
Exactly. Top number 4. Right. Awesome. Cue intro. That was our intro.
Can we get a better intro?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'll improve it a little bit. So, tonight on the show, had a bunch of different things. We're going through our top 5s, a whole bunch of good old top 5s. But first ever, we will go to stuff that's going on in the news.
Yeah, what's going on, QB?
Okay, well, probably the biggest piece of news that hit, it was late last night or early this morning.
It's terrible, isn't it?
In the gaming world, it's horrible. No, it's not that bad.
It's awful. It's the worst thing ever.
No, it's fine.
Sorry, go on.
It's all good. You don't even know what it is. No. Nintendo has announced and shown a little bit of a video on their new console system, the Nintendo Switch. I can see you frantically grabbing your phone to go, I need to watch the video.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
No, I just got to work out, do I need to replace the Wii or not with, something that's worse than the Wii? Because I replaced my Wii with a Wii U.
It's a Wii U. Oh, okay.
I replaced my Wii with a Wii U, regrettably. So I'm just trying to work out whether or not there's more regret coming.
Not really. You just replace your Wii U with a Wii and you'll be happy. Because it was better. The Nintendo Switch, essentially, it's a... How do I describe this? It's a console that sits next to your TV and you play as a console with the controller. And then you can pick up the controller and you can slot those onto a thing in the console and you lift a screen magically out of the console and then you can walk away and just play it in bed or on the road or whatever you want to do.
Okay.
And take it with you. And then you can there's a video of a guy taking it on a plane and then there's a video of a bunch of people sitting around in the circle in the middle of a public place playing games on these little screens in front of them, which that will never happen.
Okay.
Because security guard's going to be get out.
I don't know what's going on over at Nintendo, but am I out of line in saying that game console developers should really have only one focus? To make a goddamn console. That's it. Yeah. Just make a console that people can play on.
They've made one.
But surely game developers are looking at shit like this and just going, I don't know what to make for this.
No,
like with a PlayStation or an Xbox, it's pretty straightforward. There's the console, there's the tech, go and create games.
Yep.
Whereas with this, it's like I don't know.
It's interesting in terms of you look at the last ones, like the Wii U, greatest example. They went, hey, it's a Wii U, and everyone went, oh, it's a high def Wii, but it's not that high def. It's high def, last generation high def, not the new high def. No, and Nintendo went, oh, game developers, do you want to make games for it? And they went, oh, no, we're good.
Yeah, there's
there's
12 games on Wii U.
And there only ever will be.
And they're not great. You've got Mario Kart's always good and Donkey Kong's always good.
Yeah, but they're the ones made explicitly by Nintendo for the console.
Well, what else are they doing? Seriously, what are these people doing?
They got the DS, which they made ages ago before mobile phones were popular. Mobile phones kind of make them defunct. Then they made them bigger and bigger and bigger. And then they added some 3D in, and then they make them bigger again.
Okay, so...
What are they up to? The DS 486, 3DS X5...
Something like that.
Z.
Okay, so I had a client way back in my days when I used to work for an IT company, and we had this. Yeah, I know. We had this client where they had some issues with the CEO over and over and over.
His dick?
Oh, worse than that. But anyway, I won't go into too many details. Point is, they got to a point where this company, they were basically government funded, but not government. And they ended up without a CEO for a year, and the new CEO came in after the year. And turned out that there'd been some change had been made to the permissions on their server so that none of their staff could actually access any of their shared files.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So the CEO asked me to change it. And then she said, hang on a second. This is all of our files. I went, yeah. She goes, so they couldn't access anything for a year? I went, yeah. She goes, what the hell have they been doing for a year? Well, that's an excellent question.
That's a question for your management staff.
So Nintendo, what have you been doing? Because you haven't been developing games.
No. They were working on the new Zelda that was been under development for the last 47
I'm going to look up how many staff Nintendo
employ. Now you're just being
Nintendo
mean.
staff.
Okay.
What are they all secretaries?
Okay,
I mean,
no,
come
no,
on.
No. There's the guy and
The
there's the other
secretary,
guy.
it's like 99,000 secretaries all answering the phone going, yeah, no, we promise there's some weird ass new console coming.
Well, you do realize they weren't a gaming company to begin with. Can't remember
Yeah.
exactly. They were like, they made washing machines or
No, it was something similar. It was like playing cards or something, I
yeah,
think.
something really bizarre.
Yeah.
But anyway, next point there, the Nintendo Switch, this one you'll find interesting, is a cartridge system.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
It's a cartridge-based system. Tiny little cartridges.
There's 5,064 people who work for Nintendo.
Okay.
Doing what?
They're testing
Name job roles. Testing what? They didn't develop any games.
Testing
They've already
of
released the console.
developing the next 7 Mario platform games.
No, they don't need to do that.
Well, they do it anyway.
Well, no, because there's
You
only
try
one
and
coming.
tell them.
No, what are they doing?
Yeah, anyone out there that works for Nintendo, let us know what you're doing.
I mean, they're a $500 billion company,
Yeah, I know.
right?
So they're not doing badly.
No, but what are those 5,000 people doing?
Since the Wii, I've been a little bit disappointed in them.
Yeah.
And before that, since the GameCube, I'd been a little bit disappointed in them. They occasionally just appear and just drop everyone's pants, but not all the time. So anyway, that's our first thing in the news. And the other one is a nice local news that you came across this morning. What did you find? The bar that's opening, the arcade. Yes, tell everyone about that.
Okay, so it has come to my attention that there is a new gaming bar coming to Brisbane.
I have missed gaming bars and cafes.
What's it called? Netherworld.
Netherworld.
So it's a bar, arcade, and diner. Now, there's very little information about it. But
I like that though.
Yeah, but this is the...
It's got arcade machines and
this-
tabletop games. I want to be there now. It's an empty room right now, but I want to be... Okay.
Yeah, so there is a photo on their Instagram
It looks
site.
sizable.
Well, it doesn't look like anything. It just looks like an empty warehouse.
Yeah, but it's a sizable empty warehouse.
Yeah.
Okay, they have, 24 pinball machines? Pretty sure they've got space.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they've wall-mounted all of them, which probably would be a bad idea.
Yeah, so anyway, so it's called Netherworld. This is the description of it. In the wastelands of the valley, I'm sold
That's
already.
accurate.
Yeah, it's accurate. Far beyond where Brisbane punters should dare explore lies the Netherworld, a drinking hole and diner collecting gaming relics from decades past. It hosts over 15 pinball machines, 25 arcade machines, classic consoles, and countless board games spanning from the 70s until present day. Now, I don't know who's funding this. I don't know where it's come from. There is literally no information about these guys.
Which is great. And we're going to do some digging throughout the week. It only came to our attention this morning, so we had very little prep time.
If you're
But-
involved in this, if you know who they are,
Yeah, we want to get you on the show.
We wanna
'cause
know
this
who
is
they are.
Amazing.
because this is a venue that Brisbane needs.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's going to be a store, and the stores are great, but the problem with the store is that it's very difficult to promote one store over another.
Yeah.
Because you'll have people who love the Magic Vault over at Alderley, who won't go to Fast Break over at Nunda because they want to go to Ace Comics at Adelaide and so on and so
Generally, you can't drink in a store. Generally.
Well, you just don't tell them.
Oh, well, I can.
Oh, we don't do that.
It is the valley. It is the valley. I mean, everybody's drinking in the valley all the time.
No, but it's more than that though. It sounds like this is going to be a nice independent venue with a bar. Yeah,
It's looking good. Everyone
looks
keep
good.
an eye on that. Netherworld
Hopefully-
Arcade and Bar. It
hopefully-
sounds amazing.
yeah. If they're going to have lots of board games, it sounds like as well they're probably going to have some gaming tables.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Well, you'll be all over that.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be jumping on that straight away.
Oh my god, yes. So I want to know who they are from Dutch Potatoes perspective. We want to know who these guys are so we can get involved and promote the hell out of them.
Hell yes. So bring it on. Everyone check that out. Hey, on to the next topic. For our show, top 5. Now, you hit me up with this question the other day, and I was completely unprepared, which is great because now I'm more prepared, but I still don't know what my answers are.
Yeah.
So that says a lot about my psyche.
I don't know if unprepared is the right word because you came up with about 17 different games.
Well, it took me a while, though. Quick rundown. What would be your top 5 games
I haven't-
of all time?
I haven't prepared anything.
You don't need to.
Okay, so top 5 games. I think number 1 on the list, because this had the most impact on me, I think, out of any other game. was Vampire Masquerade.
Yeah, it was a cool game.
Amazing
It was a very
game.
cool game. I love that one.
I have this memory of it as well, and I don't know if that memory is even accurate.
I've played it again recently. Your memory is not accurate, but it was a wonderful game.
Well, I seem to remember it being quite a complex game. And what you did you started off in the past and then progressed through until the present day, right?
No, I'm thinking of Bloodlines. You're thinking
I'm thinking of yeah.
I don't remember that. I remember you started in the city. You start in the city and you go around the city.
Okay, well in that case, there's another game which had more of an impact on me, but I thought it was always Vampire Masquerade.
Oh, well, I thought Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines was great. I thought it was a good game. But...
Well, I don't know what the hell this game is. Anyway,
okay,
that's
so
my number one
top
game.
of your list, number one, I have no idea.
No idea.
There's some vampire game floating out there.
Some vampire dream.
Great.
Number 2, easily StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
I've probably played that game more than anything else.
Yeah. I think the majority of, most of Southeast Asia would agree with you there.
Yeah, particularly Korea, of course.
Yep. Oh, yes.
See, that's there's a really interesting story behind StarCraft in Korea. And I realize we often sometimes skip over this kind of thing, but we do have a lot of listeners out there who are not, let's say, ingrained in this kind of culture as we are. But do you know the history of StarCraft?
I have no idea.
So StarCraft, the reason why it gained such popularity in Korea, and what maybe a lot of people out there don't know, is that in Korea, StarCraft 1 is its own massive enterprise. Not so much, more StarCraft 2 now, but originally StarCraft 1. So
it was the beginning of League Esports.
Oh, yeah.
Undoubtedly.
And they have, in South Korea, it's South Korea, not North Korea, but it's funnily enough, because in North Korea they've got like 12 websites or something.
Yeah, and they're all accessible only from within North Korea.
Yeah. But in South Korea, they have entire news channels, not just shows, but
it's big.
Entire channels are dedicated. They have stadiums that are to do with it. I remember seeing an interview once with the South Korean, I think it might have been the soccer team, and they had a visit from the number 1 StarCraft team come and visit them before they were going into their championship match. And that was done because the StarCraft players were the heroes of the soccer team. That's awesome. They went into soccer because they couldn't make it a StarCraft
This is
players.
the world that I wish I'd been born into, but it didn't happen.
So anyway, where it all started is way back in the day, South Korea's economy tanked and they had huge unemployment. So the way the government the South Korean government addressed this issue is they established a whole bunch of internet cafes with a whole bunch of free games. Okay. And the number 1 game that used to get played all the time was StarCraft. So I think it was I can't remember the exact number, but it was something staggering. It was like 85% unemployment or something ridiculous. So these people had nothing to do. Because there was they just couldn't do anything. So they everything was free.
It's basically stopping them from rioting.
Pretty much. Yeah, they were just trying to...
That's fantastic.
Yeah, they were just trying to entertain them. So they they started up leagues, local leagues, and then regional leagues, and then nationwide leagues.
And then you got the international leagues.
And then, of course, because this is what everyone was doing, all the press got involved and they started covering it more. And then a couple of news channels came out and were like, hey, we could employ people to cover this, to play this. We could sponsor people. And then it just sort of went from there and grew into what it is now. But it happened over a really short period of time, like only a few years.
That's amazing. It grew far larger than Blizzard expected it to.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. StarCraft was a good old
StarCraft was good.
Warcraft was a favorite of mine. But the mods, Warcraft 3, I played more of that in high school than any other game because of the mods.
I never really played it that much.
I rarely played the base game.
But that was
the tower defense.
But see,
tower defense was born in Warcraft 3.
But see, that's because my high school friends were not huge LANers. No. I didn't really start LANing until my first year of uni, which was
my only friends at high school were all LANers. I destroyed my childhood house.
No, all my friends were hackers. There are a couple that got put in jail for hacking some very
I forgot what school you
websites.
Went to.
Yeah.
Anyway, next on your list. Keep going.
So next on the list, I'm going to say Command and Conquer Generals.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
that was a good game.
I was tossing up whether or not to say Command and Conquer or Red Alert because Command and Conquer,
the original
Command and Conquer had a pretty pretty big impact. But I think Command & Conquer Generals was one of the most fun games I've ever played.
What was the first one that they actually promised that did legitimately use 3D graphics?
Yes.
I remember to Iberian Sun, they went, "Oh, use voxels for everything." Nah, they used it for the car tires when you blew cars up.
It was a fun game, though.
Oh, it was a good game. I loved it.
Yeah.
I liked all of those ones. They're all great.
How many is that? Is that 3 or 4?
I don't know.
Okay, probably 3.
Including the one that you couldn't remember the name of.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's say that's 3.
Okay, now I'm going to put Portal 2 on the list.
Yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah, Portal 2.
That needs no...
Oh my god.
You don't even need to describe why. It was just awesome.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I'm going to make that my number 1.
There you go.
Because I have never enjoyed another game more than I've enjoyed that game.
That was a great game.
Now, I'm going to go 6, by the way, because I've got a tie. And I was tossing up whether or not to say this because of previous episodes.
If you say Call of Duty, you're getting out.
It's the original Call of Duty.
Oh, okay.
Playing through the single player.
I forgive anything up to Modern Warfare.
I never really enjoyed first-person shooters at all until I played the original Call of Duty.
That was a good game.
And I would imagine it plays like dog shit now, but
probably. But all the new ones do too, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, but the only other one that I have on my list would be Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Yeah,
that was a really good game. I liked all of the Dragon Age games.
That it had been a long time since I really got into an RPG.
You're destroying my carefully crafted list by throwing in curveballs that I didn't think of.
Yeah, and see this. It's funny because there's a lot of games now where I really like things like Terraria. It's a fun game. Jump in, play it, but I just.
Yeah, but you've only played it on tablet. You haven't played
I have
it
played on PC.
Unless you've played it multiplayer on PC over the course of about 40 hours. No,
I just don't find it has the longevity.
Oh, shut up,
Not
Wesley.
Not for me.
No. Get off my bridge.
Oh my god, I've been watching the first series. I know you have as well.
Oh,
on Netflix, that's been
like
remastered.
the Blu-ray remaster, isn't it great?
Oh
Did you see when Worf bumped his elbow on the mountain background?
Yeah, which was
awesome.
great. My favorite point. I was watching it. My wife was in the background. And there's a few points where Picard is like he's 1 second away from going, "Get the fuck off the bridge, Wesley." And my wife was like watching the background. She goes, Was Picard always such a prick? And I went, I don't remember him being a prick.
Not in the later seasons. It was
in that
early
first
on. Yeah,
season.
He had this edginess.
Yeah, but there's a documentary on Netflix at the moment. I think it's called The Captains.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Oh my god, it's such a good documentary. It's just interviews with all the different captains, and the guy who what's the name of the guy who does Deep Space Nine?
Cisco. Oh my god.
I can't remember his name. Whatever his name is.
He's like a university lecturer now.
Oh my god, he's such a hippie.
Oh god, yes.
Like in this thing, he's clearly stoned during his interview.
Yeah. Is that the one where they interview him on stage and they ask him and he just goes, "Well," and then he sat there for like 3 minutes and went, like somebody said, "What is this? What's your favorite like things that you do?" And he just leans forward and he goes, "Books." And that's it.
No, well, his answer's like, when you think about acting is something which is in all of our souls, and it just touches everyone, and you can feel the energy of everyone, all the audience who's watching my shitty sci-fi series. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
There was a talk show. There was a talk show that had on, I think it was William Shatner. Pretty sure they're Patrick Stewart. They had, the internet's not working, so I can't find out his name. The guy that played Benjamin Sisko, and what's his name from Quantum Leap, who was Captain Archer from Enterprise. They were all on stage, and the reactions were great. Like they'd say, "What was?" And it was also conducted by what's his name? The guy that plays Jack Harkness. He was the guy that hosted it. It was
fantastic.
Amazing. And he just like, "Oh, what was your favorite thing about the thing?" And Patrick Stewart's like, "Well, I used to get on there, and I just used to mess with people, and it was amazing." And then he goes over to Cisco and he goes, "I smoked a lot of weed." And then it's like over to William Shatner. He goes, "Well, the whole show was about me, so I loved it." And then they're across to the guy that played Archer, and he was like, well, they approached me about playing this character, and I basically shit myself. And I went, no, I don't want that role. And they went, no, we really want you for the role. And he goes, no, because I'm following Shatner and Patrick Stewart and stuff. And he looks around the stage, he goes, I'm terrified. He goes, there's no way. And he said, I know the show didn't do well in the last season, because I'm not surprised. We couldn't live up to these guys.
Did it do well in any seasons, though? Like Enterprise, I was always
Season
very
4, I think it started to pick up just before they cancelled it. But a lot of shows do that. It's like too little too late. Like the Stargate Universe finally got interesting, and then they canned it.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's your list. There's your list.
Yeah, what's your list?
My list, Portal 2's on mine. Probably the top of mine, for the reasons you've gone through. One of the games I played the most as a kid, competitively, Worms. The original Worms.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
It's one of my favourite games.
I used to play it on Mega Drive.
I used to
Mega
play
Drive?
it. I played on PC constantly. It had the extra track on the CD, which was the Worms like song. Like it was sung in the style of War of the Worlds. So it was like a narrator and then all this stuff. It was great. Terraria is on there because I've sunk more hours into that than I have into doing things like mowing my lawn over the course of my entire life. Diablo 2. Used to play Diablo 2 with a really good mate of mine, Josh, in uni. And I remember when I moved house, the first 2 weeks, I took my bed and a trestle table, and Josh and I played Diablo 2. Then I started getting phone calls from my parents saying, you going to come and get all your shit? Because, like, we don't want any of this stuff. I was like, yeah. I just got to finish this playthrough.
Yeah, for some reason, Diablo 2 just really encouraged that.
Oh, it encouraged obsessive behavior.
Yeah, did Diablo 2 have that thing that 1 did where if you owned the game, you could give like a free multiplayer?
I don't think so.
Because that in Diablo 1, that was amazing.
I don't think so. I also don't. I was going to get in trouble there. I was going to say, I know a lot of people that didn't. Wait, no, they all did. All of them owned the game. Everyone I knew owned the game. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I was going to say, did anyone own Diablo 2?
No, yes. Lots and lots of people own Diablo 2. I'm sure. They made lots of money, so there were no cracked copies of Diablo 2 ever.
Well, hang on. I'm just looking up the number of sales of Diablo 2. It's 4 globally.
There you go.
4 people bought Diablo 2.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the most popular games in the world.
Exactly. Exactly. So anyway,
from memory, it was expensive, wasn't it?
It's still pretty pricey. It's still about $40-$50.
No, but I seem to remember it being. Wasn't it about $150?
Oh, dude, this was on the tail end of when games were cutting out from places like Manacom and stuff, who were selling games like $10 on disc. That was only a few years before this. So yeah, Manacom, Jill of the Jungle. I'd like to add that to my list.
Okay, really interestingly, the total number of copies sold of Diablo 2, I think Google is
400 billion.
Well, no, this is how the number is expressed as far as Google. I just searched Diablo 2 sales, so feel free to look it up. The number of total copies sold, 040 exclamation 4 million. There's something a little bit screwy going on with that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just going to look at it, and it says better source needed. So
yeah, I think so. Like a numeric value. That'd be nice. Holy crap, monkeys. That's messed up.
Yeah, so...
well, okay, Diablo 2 is on my list. One that... Okay, I struggled to get this down the list because I'm not including big-name games. There's been a number of really big-name games, apart from Diablo 2, that I really liked, loved Last of Us, one of my favorite games. Loved the Bioshock series. They were great. And Infinite, really liked it. However, I'm trying to restrict it, if I can, to not necessarily indie titles, but smaller titles. I realized I've listed things like Portal 2 and Diablo 2, but I want to at least include some indie ones on there. Hang on. Faster than light.
Tell you what, at the end of this, why don't we do a top 3 small games? So either indie games or smaller games.
Okay, that's fine. Well, my list is done. I'll come back to that later. That's including all of the many free RPGs that I downloaded. All of those, yeah. Remember the days when you could troll the net and there'd be like 7,000 RPGs that were really badly translated to English, and they were all free?
Yeah. Was
that one you used to play?
Yeah.
You had one?
Yeah. So there was a game called Silk Road. And I used to play it with a mate of mine, Brendan. And I don't even know why we got into it, but we really did in like a massive way, huge way. And it was a very pretty game, really pretty game.
That kind of Eastern flavor and history and
stuff. Yeah,
and that's what made it
it's
really
a very
good.
Eastern RPG. That might be.
No one cares about the West.
Well,
It's a bunch of tumbleweeds in a desert and people kicking each other.
See, when you went in, the two sides you could choose from were Chinese or European, right?
Yeah, but Europeans just...
No, but the really interesting thing is that the European characters, the only difference in the models, they had brown hair instead of black hair. That's it. Otherwise, they were identical.
This was the day in saving models and saving texture capacity,
which is fine.
Stuff.
But I mean, and one good thing though is because it was a Chinese RPG, you had so many people playing it, so it was never
that would have been
never
awesome.
at a loss for players, right? So the whole idea of this and it was back when people were trying to come up with something different. So it was a competitor to WoW, realistically, but it's. The way that they did it is they had this really cool mechanic in it where once you hit level 10 or 20 or whatever it was, you would choose to either be a trader, a thief, or a bodyguard. And then the idea is that it was based on Silk Road, so the road that goes through Asia between Istanbul, or it used to be called Constantinople in Turkey. Right?
Yeah. Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Well, it used to be called Constantinople. It's now called, and then it got renamed to Istanbul. That's just the modern name for it.
I'm going to play this.
Welcome to Fun Facts with QB and Buck.
I'm going to play the song at the end of this thing.
So it was all about this road. So the idea is that you would, as a trader, would go and buy a whole bunch of stuff that you would sell. You would have to take your caravan, which would move quite slowly from one end of the Silk Road to the other. And you'd hire bodyguards, and it had an in-game mechanic where you could work out an exchange rate that would then go like a certain payment, which would then go into escrow. So when you got to the end, as a bodyguard, you would automatically get paid.
Get the money.
Right.
To stop people from going, thanks for doing my work, bye.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Right. And it was all about the old ruins of Constantinople. Holy crap. The guys who made Silk Road made it identical to what it used to look like. They'd gone and they'd found all the old models. So when you were walking through the buildings in Silk Road, they looked identical to the actual ruins, the actual buildings. So the amount of artistic development that had gone into this game.
See, and no one would have even known that.
No, it was just
especially the the
people
Eastern players
playing
may have done that, but the people in Europe playing it would have just gone, "Oh, that's pretty good."
Well, no, I reckon only people playing it in Turkey would have known.
Yeah,
because how else would you know unless you'd actually been there or seen them? But yeah, no, we the only reason Brendan and I stopped playing that is really we got to the point where we couldn't really progress unless we started botting, basically.
Yeah,
because it was just a massive grind fest, and that is really the ultimate failing of most Eastern based RPGs. They do love to grind.
Yeah,
but the really interesting thing, the reason for that is most of these RPGs are actually they're not designed to be played by a person sitting at home. They're designed to be played at internet cafes.
Yeah.
So when you're grinding, you're socializing, you're talking.
You got a bunch of people around you. You got stuff going on. Internet cafes.
Yeah, the
dead relic of the long gone past.
Only over here, they're still really popular in Asian countries. It's still seen to be a social activity.
Many a Friday night did I wander down to the bunker on Queen Street Mall to be yelled at by a 12-year-old and be told that I was a dick, and that apparently he fucked my mum.
Oh.
You've never experienced life
nice.
Until you, like, as a 19, 20-year-old guy, you're sitting in a net cafe and a 12-year-old walks up to you and starts going, "You fucking heap of shit, I'm gonna fucking fuck you all over the fucking floor, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna get a knife and cut you up for here and wear you as a coat." I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, probably.
Who raised you? Where did you come from? What damage? So there we go. I think we've worked out through our casual games. Now, let's check out, because I know you had a mobile game you were looking at this week that you're going to review that you were very excited about.
This is actually by far one of my
I want to do mine first.
Games.
I want to do mine first, and then I want to explain how the developer unintentionally trolled me last night. Unintentionally. It was unintentional. Completely unintentional. But I felt trolled. It was great.
All right, I'll tell you what. You do yours first, and I'll definitely listen to you.
You can get sloppy seconds.
Okay. I won't play mine.
Right, okay. So the game that I picked up the other day, and this is because I saw it mentioned in the Brisbane Indie Game Developers. This is a Brisbane-based developer. And he's hoping to get on the show this week, but I was sick, so we couldn't do the interview. James Bowling from the 8.5-Bit podcast has a games development entity called Blocky Pixel, and the game is called Astro Attack. Now, Okay, the best way to describe this game is, you know Space Invaders?
Yeah.
You know Space... Do you remember Space Invaders? Where
yeah.
it invade from the top? Okay, it's Space Invaders. You can move your ship by dragging your finger around. However, the only difference is you compare it... Like, you know you had Space Invaders, and then you also had those games in the... Don't do that. You know, you had the games in the 90s that were like the top-down flies, like F whatever it was, Raptor, where you'd like basically fly up the screen and shit would come down from the top and you'd have to destroy it and shoot it. And then you get upgrades that give you better weapons and stuff like that.
There was a really popular one based in the early days, like the Mega Drive, I think it was. Mega Drive Master System.
There were hundreds of the friggin' things.
That one was huge.
So anyway, it's a combination of both of those. So you've got stuff coming down from the top, you've got a little ship at the bottom, and you can get power-ups and stuff like that. Now, the one key difference, the thing that I like, is in order to make it so you don't have to just keep going, I'll fire now. What I remember about those games when I was a kid is, what do you do when you're shooting? Oh, you hold down the fire button, and you don't let it go while you're in the game.
Yeah.
You never let go. So they've, in this game, chosen to just go, we'll just make it fire constantly. And you move your ship, and you can basically do stuff. Now, you look at it on the surface, very simplistic. Oh my God, I have put like 40 or 50 hours into this game so far because as you destroy stuff, you get coins and it's got the usual, the reward progress thing. So you get coins that you pick up and you get power-ups, you get bosses, and you got all of these missions and daily missions that renew every hour. So you've always got that like goal that you're working towards. Every 200 coins, you get a gift. You get to buy a gift. Sometimes you get a free gift, but you get to buy a toy, and it's basically a cereal box, and it goes and explodes, and in it is a new ship. Very occasionally you get the same ship, usually new. And oh my God, the ships. When I started playing this, I think there was about, I want to say 50 ships. I didn't actually look at the number. And I got through the past week, a lot of these. Now, the thing I love about these ships, they're all based on the things that I love. There's a ship in there, no copyright infringement intended, called the Firebug. And a Firebug class ship, anyone that might know what that, you got the Galaxic, I'm looking through it now, you got the Blue Eagle Metal Cog, you got the Puma for those Halo players out there, the Shepherd, the Time Loo, the Pizza Man, the Classic King, Space Dude, Mr. Mushroom, Astro Twin. There are so many friggin' things, and they're all based on sci-fi that I'm very familiar with.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that
Astro Express from Futurama.
There's an Infinicast.
Yes. Okay, So the game is awesome. I really like this game. I highly recommend this game. It was great. Now, by the sounds, it looks like there was about 70 ships when I actually started playing. I haven't been able to put it down, playing it in bed, getting in trouble, playing it in bed. Just basically wandering around, playing it endlessly and really enjoying it. So I thought, okay, for the review, I'll unlock as much stuff as I can so I can do a proper, a nice reasoned review of all the content that I can get. So then last night...
Are you still married?
Loosely. Technically, contractually, yes. So last night at about, 5 or 6 o'clock, I see this post from James. He goes, "Hey guys, a Halloween update's out. We've just released a whole bunch of new ships and new content." I'm like, fuck. And so I spent most of last night and a lot of this morning unlocking all the Halloween stuff. It's good. I think I will never unlock all the ships because I sense as I unlock more of them, more will come. And
well, it's quite a simplistic game. Really.
It is a simplistic game, but it's one of those ones like the Infinite Runners that were on the early days of iPhone and Android. They were very simplistic, but they were fun. Lots and lots of fun. Crossy Road, very simplistic. It's fun. This, I dare say, this is more fun than Crossy Road. I liked it better.
There used to be a remember those falling games? There was one with penguins.
I've had that dream. Except there were no penguins in my dream.
Yeah, no, this one was great. I remember playing this one.
Falling Penguins game.
Yeah, it's like
sounds sadistic.
I think it's like Penguin Run, something like that.
Okay.
I've just remembered actually. I had it on on my iPad a while ago, and all it is literally just a penguin falling. So you just got to avoid obstacles and that kind of thing.
Well, that's bizarre.
I'm literally playing this game now, by the way, like Astro
Attack. Now you can see what I mean. You go, I'll just play it for a couple seconds. Okay, hang on. Now I've died. Wait, no, I just need to play it again. Play it one more time.
I just found a shield.
Just one more level.
I never have to die again.
Oh, dude! Until you get the, you can get multiple power-ups at the same time, and they stack. So you can get rapid shot, 3-way shot, and wide beam, and then you're destroying everything. So anyone listening out there, search for Astro Attack. It's on iOS and it's on Android. Check it out. It's really, really awesome. It is really awesome. You have to play it.
I died.
Oh, that'll happen. I must be on death. 7,249,000.
I got my free gift.
There you go. You
And
got coins.
let's see what we got. Oh, 1,000 coins. Jesus.
Okay, get a ship.
Yep. So, okay, here we go. And the ship I got was Mega Buddy.
Oh, I haven't got that yet. You're a dick. Anyway, I like that. Check it out. So over to you. What was your game? You checked out a game this week too.
Okay, so my game is one called Gumballs and Dungeons. Now,
I remember you mentioning this.
yeah. Now this one
Sounds fucking bizarre.
Yeah. Okay. So the guys who created this, so it's a company called. Hang on, I did look this up. Let me just look them
Are
up.
those nicknames like street names for drugs? Gumballs and Dungeons.
Oh, probably.
Oh.
It sounds like it is.
Written in King's Cross.
So I thought this was going like I'm always looking for really simple games to play
Because you're a very simple person.
I'm a very simple person. So I've got one game I play, for example, called Dots and Co. Right? As in Dots and Co. And it's a really simple game. It's just you basically create squares out of dots and it makes stuff disappear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, little things like that. Like I've been playing one called Dungeon Boss for just forever. Dungeon Boss is literally you power up your heroes and you go up against other people.
Yeah, I played that one. That was
it's
good.
very grindy and it's not that much fun anymore.
Portable grind.
Yeah, but I'm so far into it now
When
that
you
I
need a
have
bit
to
of
keep
grind.
going. Yeah,
It's the end of a long day and you need a cool drink and some grind.
exactly. So this one I thought was going to be something simple like that, and it's not. It is really quite a complex game, deceptively complex game, and
It's one of those
really,
ones
really
that
addictive.
start simple and they ease you into it.
Well,
Yeah.
the guys who have created
Ease
this
in.
are absolute geniuses, I think, because they have paced this game so well that every time I start to get even mildly bored and go, oh, I could probably give this away. Oh, this thing I've just unlocked, it's amazing. And then I'll get to the point, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, no, I think I got the hang of that. And, oh, yeah, what's this other game over here? Oh, my God, I just unlocked something else. And as you go through each floor, you get what they call EP, which are basically just points, right? When you get a certain number of points, you can buy into certain classes. Each level of class you go up, you go up and you get different abilities. So to give you an idea, this is different paths you can go. You start off as a magic apprentice, and then you can choose to either be a black robe mage or a mage in white robes. If you go the black robe mage, you can be a wizard, a conjurer, a fire master, a dark master, an earth master, a lord of elemental, a mage of destruction, a dark priest, or a plain prophet. If you go the white path, you can become a priest, an oracle, an air master, a light master, a water master, a light oracle, legendary mage, time lord.
Oh my God.
And the time lord's cool because there's a spell in
When
the game
is a time
called,
lord not cool?
Well, there's a spell called time stop, so which basically just freezes everyone for 3.
Now I need to delete
No,
some
there's
of my
more.
phone 'cause I ran
Pope.
out of space.
Pope. Actually, I haven't done Pope yet, so I don't know what it
There
does.
will, by the time people download this, there will probably be more by the sound of it.
I think they've mucked up their model. I think they've made it slightly too easy to not have to spend any money.
Yeah.
Only from an economic point of view for them, not as far as the game. The game, I think, is perfect.
Wow. Okay, well, that's a pretty shining review. Everyone check that out. Gumballs and Dragons. On iOS, on Android as well.
Gumballs and Dungeons.
Gumballs and Dungeons. Okay, Gumballs and Dungeons. I was close. I got a bit stubborn there. Bam, hit you up. Top 5, run off the list. Top 5 casual games that you like but have rarely played.
Death Spank.
I know the game you're talking about, but the fact that you just looked at me and said that was incredibly disturbing. Okay, there's that one.
Yeah.
Death Spank.
Thong of Virtue.
I remember that
That's
one.
the full name of it.
I remember that one. I had the same thing.
It's a fun and stupid game.
She Wants Me Dead, which I mentioned last week. Love the game. It's hard enough that you go play, rage, and then you don't play it for a week. So love it, but haven't played it much. Next.
I want to like this game more. Disney Infinity.
Yeah, I want to like it more, but it's crap.
It is. It's garbage. I really want to like it more, and even my.
Do you want to know what's not garbage? What's not garbage? It's similar. Lego Dimensions.
Yes, I still have that, and I just haven't had a chance to play it.
Well, that can be on your list because you should play that.
Yeah, no,
it's fantastic. Play all of it now.
Well,
Get out
I
of here.
bought the Doctor Who expansion.
You don't even need it.
Oh, no,
it's
yeah,
good,
no.
but yeah.
Well, I bought that because bloody Doctor Who. I just haven't had a chance to play through it because it's more fun to do with another person.
Yeah, it is.
And scheduling at the moment is
I
just a
played
bit
through
of
with
a
my
pain.
daughter.
Yeah.
It's a great pleasure.
Well, I've been playing through with my wife.
Civ 4. Liked it, but couldn't. It's okay. I can't explain Civ 4. I really want to play that, and I'll play it for a few minutes and go, I might come back to this later. But I really want to play it, but I can't hold into a game. It's bizarre. Can't work it out. Next for you. What are you up to? 3?
Yeah, that's a good question. Minecraft. Controversial, I know.
Yeah, I'm the same. I love Minecraft, but I had one of those play stints where I played it to death for a bit, maybe 24 hours. Then I went, I'll come back to this, and I've occasionally ducked in. My daughter loves it. I play it with her every now and then.
Yeah,
don't get much chance to play
I found that Minecraft is too social.
Yeah. And you like things where you're not social, antisocial.
Well, no, but
that's behavior that can get you on a government watch list. Careful.
No, we'll see. I'm at the age now, and my friends are at the age now
where they're old.
We have life. It's difficult.
No,
it's not as easy nowadays.
We just have bills.
Well, we used to have a LAN a month, or we'd have a LAN that would last for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
No, we're too busy paying bills, walking around, bumping into business people who are trying to fist us.
If you're the government and you're listening to this, fuck off.
No, don't say that. That's a little mean. The poor. A bunch of pricks. Anyway, Cave Story Plus, like the game. It was a little indie game. Never finished it.
I never heard of that one.
It's a good little platformer. Never finished it. Couldn't put it down. I can actually list off my final 2 here. Limbo. Really like the look of Limbo.
Oh my god, I want to like it more.
Yeah.
It's too difficult.
Yeah.
It's just slightly too difficult.
I think I got stuck at somewhere. The other one was the Star Trek mobile game. The recent one. Yeah, it's like a trading card based. You go on like away missions and you use cards to play characters, and you get characters from different. Okay,
the reason I like this and assumed it was lame.
Started off, and the beginning was voiced by John Delancey as Q, and I went, okay. I love this immediately.
Yeah,
and the idea is like all of the different timelines have just been fucked.
Or for some of you out there who may know John Delancey by his other most famous role,
from My Little Pony.
From My Little Pony,
he's in everything, man. He's in StarCraft too.
Is he?
A friend of mine pointed that out the other day. Yeah, the Legacy of the Void, latest one.
Oh, I've played that yet.
You got to.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So you get in missions and stuff like that, and the thing is, I just don't have time to play it. Like I feel that you need to put a lot of commitment because I collected like 3 alternate versions of Picard and combined the similar ones in like a mega Picard. It was fantastic. So that's my list.
God, I'm not even sure what mine ones would be.
Oh, that's balls.
Oh, I know.
You came up with the question.
I know. Okay, there was a. Oh, remind me of the name. It was a. One of the Battlefields.
Mortal Kombat.
No. Battlefield. Mortal Kombat.
Battlefield 8. The search for more Battlefield.
No, I can't remember the name of it. I feel really bad now.
2142.
No. It was
1942.
It was complete.
2,
It was completely
3,
off.
1.
It was like Battlefield Battlecry or something like that.
Battlefield Vietnam.
No.
I think I've listed them all, haven't I?
No, you haven't. There's another one, which I can't remember off the top of my head.
Battlefield My Little Pony. I don't know where. What is it?
I can't remember.
Well, it sounds like it made a real impact.
It really did.
I liked Vietnam. I love playing really loud music while you crash planes into other players. It was fantastic.
Oh my god.
My entire playstyle in that game was colliding vehicles and people. Horrible.
What's the name of this goddamn game?
Battlefield 4.
Battlecry?
Battlefield 5.
Battlecry.
Battlecry isn't a Battlefield game.
Yes, it is.
Wrong genre.
No. Nah, I can't find it. Bad Company.
Oh, that one, yes.
Yes.
That was good.
Yeah. I really, really enjoyed that. The only reason I didn't play it was just quite simply I didn't know enough people playing it. But it was a great LAN game because it actually worked.
Yeah. There are very few LAN games now. They're all online.
Yeah.
Okay, talking about LANs and gaming, top 5 most, I'm not going to say worst, but most memorable or impactful gaming experiences. Can be at a LAN or online or
I know.
Whatever the fuck.
I know what stories.
I know what number 1 is because I've taken a photo of it so I can put it on the Twitter feed later.
Yeah, I know what stories.
Because that's the most bizarre fucking thing I've ever seen anyone write down.
Okay, I have 3 stories.
You go first.
I'm not going to do top 5 because it'll take too long.
Okay, just do top 3.
Top 3.
Keep them succinct.
Okay,
hit the topic.
Okay, so my number 1, I'm just going to summarize it. naked Asian man at a weekend LAN.
Uh-huh.
Now, if
Right.
you're out there, Fongy, you know who you are.
Why was he naked?
Okay, so
No, that's the important bit. Why?
No.
Why?
We need some context.
Okay.
So I got married. Oh God, I shouldn't have started the sentence.
That's not the
9 years
context.
ago.
Yeah, okay.
9 years ago. I got married nine years ago.
Okay.
Sounds about right. And because this is how cool I am. I didn't have a Bucks night. I had a Bucks LAN. So that was just basically how long was it? I think we did about 50 hours, 50 or 60 hours of just straight LANing. So we had a Call of Duty 4 LAN game going on. Someone set up a server. We got up to literal thousands of kills at one point.
Wow.
And there was just a bank of computers. There were 35 people we fit into our house, and our house at the time was not a big house. It was wall to wall. There was not a single area in the house other than beds that wasn't filled with computers. We had to climb in and out of the windows because all the doors had computers up against
I've
them.
had that LAN. Everyone's had that one.
And this is when we lived out at Roachtown, really, really tiny little house. So anyway, I remember one thing about that night was that I drank 23 cans of V in 4 hours and didn't
You
feel
must have
well.
an amazing memory of that night.
Yeah, it was a very energetic night.
Probably needed to go to the hospital.
Well, I went and lay down for a while, and I remember
that's the minminimum you can do when you have that many Vs.
with like heart palpitations, and I called my wife who was out on her what do they call it? What's
Hen's night.
Hen's night, yeah. She was out on a hen's night, and I just said, so I just drank 23 cans of V, and she's like, oh, okay, how do you feel? I went, not the best. And she goes, oh yeah. She goes, you got heart palpitations? And I go, yeah. And she goes, yeah, it sucks for you. And then hung up on me. So I just
you literally went down the nerdy version of you went down the legal nerdy version of I've just done a whole stack of coke and I don't know what's going on.
But see, the interesting thing, I don't remember even drinking at that. Like, I don't think we drank any alcohol. I think it was just all energy drinks.
Yeah, I only drank energy drinks.
Yeah. And I don't think it even occurred to me to get alcohol.
Okay, hang on. Moving on. Why
Anyway,
was this Asian guy naked?
So,
Interested in the tale of Fongy and his...
some people went home and slept and
After
then
he
came
was
back.
naked or before?
No. So it got to about 2 a.m. and
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
some people left and went and slept in beds, and some people just basically crashed where they were. Quite a few people just curled up underneath the desk in amongst wires and whatever. And my desk, like my standard desk, was kind of off in a little alcove. Kind of, it was a bit weird. It was like they'd meant to build an office but never put a double door on it, so it was just sort of in there. And I went and slept on my bed, obviously, because I live there.
You have a bed.
I have a bed, and I came out in the morning and I sat down, ready to go, and then suddenly this guy Fongy, who was like a skinny Asian guy, he had the physical attributes of like Bruce Lee. So he was
What the hell?
He was like short and skinny, and he just appeared naked between my legs, and I was like, "What the fuck?
What the hell?"
Yeah. So
this is not a Dear Playboy letter.
He'd taken off all of his clothes.
Why?
Well, he was a bit hot, and then curled up underneath the desk. And I said, "But why did you take your pants off?" And he goes, "Oh, because it was hot." I went, "No, but." But you weren't just in your underwear, Fongy. You were naked. Why were you naked? And he goes, oh, well, it was hot everywhere. I went, but why didn't you just sleep somewhere other than...
Under your desk?
Under the desk. And he's like, oh, it was too cold anywhere else. I went, what?
So he chose the hot place so he could take all his clothes off.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's my number one. What about yours?
My number one. My number one, even though it's not explicitly gaming related, and it's interesting, parallels to yours, except there's no Asian guy popping out from between my legs.
Why not?
No naked guy popping out from between my legs.
Actually, one really good thing about Fongy is
What?
that at LANs, he used to do
Meth?
He was I think he might have just been flat karate, maybe.
Okay.
So very, very he was a very powerful guy, even though he was quite small. That's what I mean. He had the physique of
This story's getting weirder.
Yeah, he was actually quite muscly. But he would walk around behind people in LANs while you were playing and just just absently like give people massages, but this guy's hands were like steel rods.
Was he naked when he was giving people massages?
See, now thinking back, maybe I never really noticed because you'd be looking at the computer.
I'm going to move on to my story. This one's going dark places. Schoolies? For schoolies... Oh, God. For schoolies, because we were all unpopular and not cool at all, we went to the beach and we had LAN in a little like apartment thing next to the beach. Went out swimming during the day and LAN at night. Now, I remember one of the best memories I have of any gaming situation was I was sitting there playing, I think it was Quake 3, with a couple of other guys, one of them playing Ramstein, the other guy trying to bash the dude on the head to stop him playing Ramstein. And one of my good mates, Matty, he decided to go down to the beach without putting on any sunscreen. And he went out at 9 in the morning, I want to say. And he got back at about 2. Now, he walked in and he was he looked like Zoidberg, like that color.
Wow.
It was bad. And we said, hey, you got a little bit of sunburn there, Matty. He went, no, it's okay. He goes, because I have a family, like, the recipe thing that really works to, alleviate the sunscreen. And I'm assuming he'd intended, he was remembering always aloe vera. So what is it? He goes, you get a bowl, a little bit of flour, you mix it up in the bowl, and you basically just put it on with some water.
But that's just glue.
And so let's keep going. And he said, you get some newspaper and basically wrap it up. And the thing is, you put it on and it's soothing and then you peel it off. I went, I'm pretty sure that's not going to work. He said, no, it's fine. It's what I've done it before. So he covered his arms and his belly and his things in this paper with school children out there. And you know what happens when you mix flour and water and put paper in it. It's
paper
basically
mache.
paper mache.
Yeah.
So he went and laid down for 2 hours and we're all going, I don't know what's going to happen when he got up. So he walks into the living room and he can't move. Because you know how sunscreen's got that sunburn's got that delay?
Yeah,
like you don't feel burned and then you feel... So he wakes up and he's
horrible.
feeling the burn. He's like, guys, I can't move. I can't move anything because I'm like, it's all gone hard and I can't move and I can't move my arm or anything. And we're like, okay, we'll take it off. He goes, I can't get it off. It's adhered to my skin. So we had to spend the next probably 20 minutes ripping the top layer of his skin off with the...
See,
wow.
See, here's the thing I never understand. Parents of nerds, you have nothing to worry about, really.
No.
Like, when we go to schoolies, this is the shit that happens.
Yeah.
People don't get drunk and
The
pregnant.
most adventurous things that happened to school is we got drunk and we wanted to see what would happen when you put those little gummy things on a tray and oven baked them. It's not good.
They melt.
No.
No?
No, some of them burst into flame.
Really?
I'd avoid doing that, especially when it's not your oven. Some of them explode.
You know, there is actually a high school experiment, and my wife would be able to tell you more about what it actually does. She's the scientician.
Where you blow up gummies, I'm in.
Yeah, well, no. You drop a gummy into some kind of liquid, and it screams and then shoots out the top.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I can't remember what the actual liquid is, but
it's
it's
also terrifying. Wouldn't that give kids nightmares?
Well, I don't know.
Great. Bring it on.
Well, they do it for high school students anyway.
Two other quick ones. Because I can wrap up my other two stories pretty quick. I know we're doing top 5, but like you said, limited to 3 because these could go on forever.
Yeah.
A mate of mine who used to own an enormous CRT monitor, and he would reheat his burgers from Hungry Jack's on the back of the monitor. Do you know what that does to a burger?
Radioactivizes it?
I think so. I don't know what it does to a burger, but I can tell you the amount of vomit that came out of him after he had this burger. And what's even better, 3 lands later, he did it again. We need to, I'll heat up the burger and then,
See, that I would be very interested to know what was actually causing that.
Anyone out there that's in the science that knows what happens when you cook a burger on the back of a CRT screen,
Probably.
it does something bad to it. Now, the final one is, Lane, I had one was at Paddington, really small room, and there was about 20 people in it. There's a mate of mine couldn't find a desk anywhere or a chair. So he had a high stool and he put his feet up on top of a TV cabinet and he balanced a CRT monitor on his legs and the keyboard on his groin.
Nice.
The problem was there's no way he could get down without help because someone needed to lift the monitor off him while he went to the bathroom.
Good old CRT monitors.
So what are your other two?
Okay, so
to round up this
one of mine is really short. One of mine is slightly longer, but I promise it's worth the ending.
This sounds like a joke.
Yeah. So the first
Is that
one,
the punchline to it?
yeah, no. So one is a good mate of mine. He's now an investment guy, like an investment advisor for super funds.
He's a sales guy.
Yeah,
80s sales guy.
he and I used to play StarCraft.
Yeah.
StarCraft 1 over dial-up, and our record for a game was 22 hours. Yeah, it was a great game. And then somebody called one of our houses.
What?
Well, when you're on dial-up, remember someone calls.
And I forgot that.
Yeah, so
Oh, wait, no. Oh, yeah, call waiting. Yeah, you'd
gotta
have to
turn
you'd
off
actually
call
call
waiting.
Telstra and get them to turn it off. No, I
Yeah.
remember that. Conk. Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was that one. So that was a guy named Blake. Good on you, Blake, if you're listening. And okay, so my third story. So this one involves a gentleman named Glenn, and a game called Fable 3.
Oh, I remember Fable 3.
Now, Fable 3, I never got past really the first
Didn't
area.
you murder everyone in the whole city?
Okay, so there were 3 things that I did, and this is probably the one and only game that my wife has actually played through all to the end. Right? She's not a gamer, but she played this one 100% of the way through. Number 1 is, did you know that you can create slums by buying up all the property and then increasing all of the costs until people are so poor that they start they start protesting. So at one point that happened, and so I went down to one of the slums and to address the issue and got mobbed by all the villagers. I then murdered about 5 of them, and all the complaints went away. So I was effectively a slumlord. The second thing was, this the friend of mine, Glenn, when you do multiplayer, you technically go into the other person's world. You don't have a shared world in Fable 3. So I went into his world, and he basically showed me around, and then he had to go, and he disconnected. I did not. So I murdered every single person. In his game, and then he came back on the following day, and he's like,
with you.
and he was started posting on Facebook like, "There's something wrong with my Fable 3 game. There's nobody in it."
That reminds me of slightly off topic, but then again, the whole podcast is off topic, so it doesn't really matter. You remember Oblivion?
Yes.
I like to call it the game where every voice actor was the same.
Yeah.
Everybody knows your name because it's the same guy.
Yeah.
That was at it wasn't the beginning, but it was when there was a lot of stuff going on in Oblivion about Emergent Behaviour when they first released it, because the AI wasn't broken, it just did weird stuff because it combined in unexpected ways. My favourite story from that was there was a guy that went onto the Bethesda forum and said, "I've got some weirds going on, like there's nobody in any of like all these villages, like 6 villages, there's no one, and there's an NPC I have to talk to complete a quest, can't do it." And they went, "Oh, this is weird. So, like, what's going on?" He goes, "I don't know." They went back and forth for a while. And then he said, okay, something even weirder, guys. I, traveled outside the city for a while. And I came to this cave, this outcropping thing. And there were all of these dead people lying on the ground. And then there was a horse that was on fire. And so the support team's like, right. And he's like, nobody knew what had happened. Now, he went away and loaded a previous save game, and he started using teleport to these just to find out what the hell happened. He came back and goes, "Okay, guys, I've worked out what happened." And what happened was this. There was a horse in a barn there somewhere, and something happened. I think one of the NPCs knocked something over, which actually set fire to something. Now, set fire to this barn the horse was standing under. The horse caught fire, and then the horse ran through the town because the horse was startled because it was on fire.
Right.
Makes sense. All of the villagers, their AI says, "Oh, look, that horse is on fire. A thing is on fire. We should do something about the thing that's on fire." So all the villagers started running after the horse to try and put the horse out. Then the horse was spooked because a whole shitload of villagers were chasing it, and it was on fire. So it ran through 2 other villages. Same thing happened. Then there was a point where the horse got stuck on part of the terrain, and all the villagers came in and got too close, burned to death, but the horse for some reason did not die. Thus ends the story of the burning horse and the hundreds of dead villagers.
That's fantastic.
It's the best thing that's ever happened in any game. Okay. Ever.
So coming back to Fable 3. So this is the third thing that happened. So Glenn and I were playing around with a mechanic that was in the game, which were basically, I don't know if you remember, but the giant faces that were on
Yeah,
doorways,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
had to do weird things
those
to
things
get
were
them to
weird.
open up.
I hated
So you
those
had to
things.
come back with certain items, or you had to say certain things. So Glenn and I, we worked out a few of them. You actually need multiple people. Because for one of them, the message was very clear. You had to have a child and bring the child back.
Okay.
And if you brought that back, then it would open up and you get whatever treasures behind it. But one of them, before we got to that point, I had a female character and he had a male character. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to have to look at the ass of someone for hours and hours on end,
Well, there you go.
you might as well be a female character, right? So we were talking to this one, and it was basically the message was it wanted you to interact. Right, it wanted a male and a female character to be interacting.
Okay.
And in the game, you don't really choose what you say. You just have to. You get options for: do you want to fight with someone? Do you want to? But they had like a love heart, I think, which if you want to express affection.
I think
or
it was
something.
similar to some of the original Sim stuff, which is like happy, sad, mean, good.
So
bad.
after the second or third time of interacting, the only ones that were coming up were the love heart ones. So then the two characters, I'm not going to say they started talking dirty, but they were talking very romantically. And then we
they
noticed
were talking filthy.
yeah, and it was they were talking about having physical relationship and so on and so forth. And then we noticed our gold was going up, and we're like,
What the hell?
Is this fucking face paying us? Like
to make characters talk dirty.
Yeah. And then it opened up, and we're like, what the hell? And then that was when we found the one that was very clearly you need to have a child. And we're like, how the hell do you do that? And then we worked out you have to get married, right? And it was a lovely courtyard wedding that Glenn put on. It was great.
Sunset.
So Glenn and I got married, and then we worked out that he had to buy me a house, which he did. It was a lovely cottage just outside of the main village.
Okay.
Right, so we bought the house
In the slums, or is that?
and then we're like,
slums?
now what? Like, do we just wait? And so we're wandering around this house, and my wife was sitting next to me because she's like, "This is a weird game." And I'm like, "You fucking tell me about it, right?" Because she hadn't done any of this. She just played single player. And we went up to the bed, and I clicked the bed, and it went, "Do you want to have unprotected sex with Glenn?"
I remember that.
And I'm like, I don't.
Really?
My wife dives across the table to hit the enter key. And then and everything then goes black, and you hear
Wow.
and then a baby crying. I'm like,
That's quick.
oh, we've got a baby.
Kids in school, this is why you use protect. This is exactly what actually happens. This is fact. Use protection.
And then we took
Suit up.
the child back, and it led us into this area, and we got I don't know, 50 gold or something. Like, it was really.
So hang on, this game
nothing.
has essentially encouraged you to talk filthy with someone, have unprotected sex, and then sacrifice your baby to a talking head that's built into a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit messed up.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's
that's level of messed up of did they? No, they didn't do black and white. Did they? Who did black and white?
Black and White was not Sid Meier's. What's his name? Peter Molyneux.
Yeah. That had some interesting weird stuff.
Well,
in
that
it
was
as well.
supposed to be Emergent AI, and
It was. No, it was.
Oh, it kind of was.
Okay. Hey,
It fell flat.
Spence, feel free to call in and tell him what you managed to get your creature to do. He actually managed to get a large creature that he would roam around. It would find villagers. It would shit on the villagers and then set them on fire.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And then it would go up and move on to the next village. And yeah, I don't know how he trained it to do that, but I mean,
think you had to work hard.
Beating it very hard.
Yeah.
It's had a bad upbringing if that's what it thinks is acceptable.
Yeah.
I think that rounds off that list. So in summarizing, Astro Attack, lots of fun. Gumballs and Dungeons.
Perfect game.
There you go. Whole bunch of things that we didn't really play, but liked. Horrible things, and a naked guy jumping out from between Puck's legs. So that's the show in summary. Next week, we're going to have actually an interesting show. We're going to have some special guests on again for Halloween, our horror and thriller and scary shit game. Wow. Vincent Price will be in. Dead or not. Doesn't matter. So everyone, tune in next week. This is Cue Ball.
This is Buck.
Signing up. See you guys next week.